An explosion leaves 7 Marines dead today after a training exercise.
Police make an arrest in a string of burglaries, and they say recovering hundreds of stolen items.
And our top story.
One thing that we will not do is quit.
The Jose Castaneda controversy in Salinas. A turn of events at tonight's City Council meeting.
You're watching KSBW Channel 8, Salinas, Monterey, Santa Cruz. This is Action News 8. Coverage you can count on.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Erin Clark.
I'm Dan Green. We are beginning tonight with a dramatic turn of events in the controversy surrounding Salinas City Councilman and LaSalle School District Board member Jose Castaneda.
Tonight, the Salinas City Council voted to ask the Attorney General for permission to file a lawsuit against him, claiming he is breaking the law, holding 2 incompatible offices at the same time. Action News reporter Tom Miller is live in Salinas with tonight's top story.
Erin, a defiant Jose Castaneda said to the very end that he's not a quitter and that he refuses to give up his school board seat, but it appears he may no longer have a choice as the city council now pursues a lawsuit against him. Jose Castaneda is in the spotlight again, this time with his future as an LaSalle School District board member on the line.
I am here whether you like it or not.
Castaneda audaciously attempted to stand his ground, comparing the city's threat of legal action against him to those of the civil rights movement.
What you're doing is no different from what has been happening under the civil rights era.
But the vote didn't follow racial lines. Councilman McShane was one of 2 against the motion, while Councilwoman Gloria De La Rosa joined 3 others in the majority.
I really would like to see you make a decision and to make the wise decision tonight.
That decision never came from Castaneda, and instead the city weighed in.
If we walk away from it saying, well, nobody's really hurt, then what we're doing is we're excusing someone who may be breaking the law.
Mayor Gunter.
Yes.
Motion passes.
How do you react right now, Councilman Castaneda?
Expect away.
Castaneda continuously dodged questions and eventually retreated into his office. But there's no hiding from what'll likely come next as the city seeks the state attorney general's permission to settle this issue of incompatible offices once and for all. And if the city does get her permission, which it's expected to, then the matter will be resolved in the courts. And again, it's that original position as a school board member that Castaneda is at risk of losing. Erin?
All right, thank you, Tom. Also, out of tonight's meeting, we have learned that Castaneda's supporters have filed paperwork for a recall against Salinas Mayor Joe Guntner.
Well, Santa Cruz County sheriffs are looking for yet some more help in finding another missing man. 22-year-old Gabriel Lorette Smith was last seen in Henry Cowell State Park last night when a safety department officer cited him for illegal camping. He was last seen wearing a black sweatshirt on white lettering on the front, light blue jeans, could be carrying a dark-colored sleeping bag and a navy blue backpack.
Continuing coverage tonight over concerns about a controversial needle exchange program in Santa Cruz. Today, opponents took their issue to the Santa Cruz County Board of Supervisors. The program has been operating at the Santa Cruz County Health Services Agency compound along Emmeline Avenue for the last 6 weeks. But neighbors say since then, just in the last 6 weeks, they have seen crime, theft, and other problems increase since it moved from another location in Santa Cruz.
A week ago, my car was broken into. It is parked in front of my house, and although nothing valuable was in the car, it was rifled, and it was considerably upsetting.
450 people submitted signatures calling for reforms to the needle exchange program. Santa Cruz Health Officer Lisa Hernandez says that they hope to have a program presented to the board in April, a revised program, which would include a new location.
Police in Santa Cruz have made an arrest in connection with a series of burglaries in the Santa Cruz and Monterey Bay area. 39-year-old Scott Russo. Police say they found him in possession of hundreds of stolen items, including laptops and cell phones. They're charging him with burglary, possession of stolen property, and narcotics violations. Police in Salinas are investigating an armed robbery. It happened at the Valero on John Street. This morning, police say a gunman walked into the store, demanded money from the clerk. Police said the robber fled the scene in a newer model silver sedan. Hispanic, early 20s, wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt with the letter N on the chest.
There are talks in San Benito County to consolidate the Hollister and San Juan Bautista fire departments. That would not only save money, but they say increase the number of firefighters and decrease response time. Both the departments would remain separate entities, but would be responsible for calls within the cities and outside of them starting July 1st. CAL FIRE would still have a presence in the county, but they'd only be responsible for vegetation and wildland fires.
We really have to stop with this is mine and that's yours, because it's not. We're too small of a community.
It'll give us an ability to put more equipment on scene quicker and not have to rely so much on outside the county resources.
Last year, San Benito County supervisors rejected a similar proposal. They've now decided to revisit the issue and have asked the Hollister Fire Department to make a formal presentation on April 2nd.
Project Economy. The Salinas City Council did not make a decision on the Sanborn Road Highway 101 interchange project. They had planned to do that tonight. First phase of the project would start along Fairview Avenue and Sanborn Road. Crews would install new traffic signals, do some landscaping and street light work. They will likely bring it up at their next meeting.
Getting to know your neighbors is certainly an important step for any new homeowner, but not if you're squatting or living in a vacant home without paying for it. That's exactly what happened in the Monterey Park neighborhood in Salinas. We're told the squatters would have weekend barbecues and neglected property maintenance, but treated it as if they belonged there. Squatters even told neighbors they owned the home, and it wasn't until almost a year later when the real estate agent finally got on to them, stopped by, and told them that they had to get out.
And the guy was apparently coming in and out for a long time, just as if he owns it, so it just really doesn't raise much suspicion.
In this case, the bank file a complaint. There's really not much police can do about this, and oftentimes the squatters simply walk away scot-free. Head of the California National Guard says the federal sequester will significantly impact their ability to serve the state and nation, forcing about 2,000 technicians to be furloughed beginning in April. Cuts will cripple, they say, their ability to train, certify, and equip many of the personnel that respond to state and federal emergencies. They'll also have to ground helicopters, and they will be short on ammunition as well.
In news across America, military authorities say 7 soldiers were killed. As many as 8 others were wounded when a mortar exploded during training exercises in Nevada. Action News reporter Dan Shenneman with more.
This evening, veterans and civilians alike joined together at a memorial service to honor the soldiers lost and those wounded in an explosion during a training exercise on Monday at the Hawthorne Army Depot in Nevada.
It's strange. You go overseas to fight, and you come back home and you get killed.
The Marines say the soldiers were taking part in mountain warfare training at the Hawthorne Army Depot. A 60-millimeter mortar round suddenly exploded in a mortar tube.
We don't know yet what caused this malfunction.
The military has issued a moratorium on using those mortars until an investigation is complete.
Typically, a 60-millimeter mortar is manned by 1 or maybe 2 people. The fact that you had so many casualties here would indicate that there were other gun crews and trainees nearby.
The service members involved in the training accident belong to the 2nd Marine Division, a ground combat force stationed in North Carolina at Camp Lejeune.
Every loss of life is heartbreaking, whether that occurs in Afghanistan, Hawthorne, Nevada, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, or anywhere else. It's not every tragedy, every loss is a tragedy.
Proudly, we remember their service.
A tragic loss of soldiers who trained to sacrifice. That sacrifice now honored in Nevada and nationwide.
Dan Shenneman reporting there. The names of the victims have not been released. The military says they're waiting till the families have all been notified.
As a result of forced federal spending cuts that kicked in March 1st, the Pentagon will send furlough notices to employees starting this Friday. Workers will have to stay home on unpaid leave for 22 days. That's 1 day every week from April 21st to September 21st. That does amount to a 20% pay cut. Furloughs will affect most of the Defense Department's 800,000 civilian employees. Senator Dianne Feinstein says a proposed assault weapons ban will not be included in the gun control bill the Democrats are putting before the Senate next month. Feinstein will instead present it as an amendment to the larger bill. But due to opposition from Republicans and even some moderate Democrats, the assault weapons ban is not expected to get enough votes to pass as an amendment.
President Obama is headed to Israel for the first overseas visit of his second term. This is his first official trip to Israel since assuming the presidency. The president boarded Air Force One shortly after holding an evening reception at the White House for the Irish Prime Minister. The 4-day Mideast trip is also taking him to the West Bank and to Jordan. U.S. officials say he will try and push for renewed peace talks, though he is not planning to offer a specific initiative. Millions of Americans who buy and sell used items got a victory today in the Supreme Court. The book publisher Wiley & Sons sued a former college student who was making money buying new textbooks at a discount in Thailand, then selling them in the U.S. on eBay. The Supreme Court rejected the publisher's arguments that the sales infringed on copyright protection. The suit would have or could have impacted anyone selling items with international copyrights, from eBay users to secondhand stores like Goodwill, even garage sales.
This is great for the American economy. This is great for consumers, and frankly, this is great for everybody who's engaged in the secondary markets.
It's all based on what's called the first sale doctrine, that says if you buy an item like a book or CD, even if it's copyrighted, it is yours to do with what you like, whether it be to resell it or to give it away.
Coming up on Action News at 11, the inaugural Mass for Pope Francis. What did he tell the faithful? We'll have it coming up.
Just how close we really came to another shooting rampage. What police say they found when they entered a Florida student's dorm. First, though, Lee Solomon is in for Jim. He's got our wake-up weather.
Yeah, it looks like we had a little bit of rain and then we got a little bit of a break, but there's more clouds and there's some more showers around as well. We'll do a few more of those overnight. Tomorrow morning, I would expect to have the umbrella handy. There'll be some showers around for the morning commute, and that means wet roads most likely, so maybe a little bit of a longer commute than usual. We'll talk about how long that rainy weather's going to hang around and what the weekend looks like. All coming up in just a few minutes.